And that was a song by somebody. If you can hear me, let me know. In fact, I already know you can hear me because I can hear me. And now there's an echo. That's why I do these tests ahead of time. All right, there we go. All right, see you in 4 minutes there, folks. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Orion Arm. I am Mark, the man behind the curtain, and tonight we're back to working on the Dawn of Victory star map, all part of our world building project here at the Templin Institute. So, what we're doing is, we are adding star systems, other astro phenomena to this map, and then you'll be able to see it updated here. Hopefully that link just worked in chat. Yeah, there it is. I think we're session number 9 into this, so it's quite a bit different than when we first started. And along the way, we're soliciting suggestions for star system names, which can be suggested right in that link that hopefully just popped up as well. Yes, hey, look at that. Like a steel Swiss clock, the stream is running. Okay, and hopefully while we're working on that, our map master Alexandrian Codex is going to be sorting through it, making sure all the good suggestions make their way to the top. So, I'm coming into the stream with a plan. I got some things I want to do, and I think I figured out kinda the best way to run these streams. I don't normally broadcast my work, so this is scary. But here's the plan. First, I want to plan out, or at least maybe partially map out all the major cosmic strings. If you're new to the setting, faster than light travel happens across, this hyperlane kind of concept, and I keep making reference to where like the fastest or strongest strings are, but there's no way to actually see them. So I kind of want to figure that out, even if it's just a temporary solution, because that's going to come into play as we figured out 2 streams ago. Knowing where those major lines are is going to be helpful. After that, I want to start adding out the rest of the star systems in kind of a loose perimeter here that I have defined here. Yes, I consider this square to be like phase 1 of the map, and we're nearing the finish line, so I want to just add the last remaining star systems like here, maybe a few in here, and at the top, and then that'll be that. And then it'll just be the question of naming them. Once I've kind of got the basic placement sorted out, we'll head over to the Elysian fields, which is our newest region, and I want to work on the geopolitics of this area and get like kind of a loose plan of what's going on over here. Because I was kind of haphazard when I was first putting this together, and I realized it's going to require a bit more thought, because we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the setting here. You can't just wing it anymore. No, sir. Okay. After that, assuming there's time, I don't know how long this is going to take, I want to rework the Pakistani names. We got some suggestions and complaints that our current ones are no good. So we're going to return to this and see if we can't do a better job. And yeah, that will be the major stuff. So while I'm working through those first 2 steps, planning out the lines, adding the other star systems, start coming up with mostly Italian, maybe the Balkans, North Africa, those kind of names. We're going to be filling out the Elysian fields with them, as well as, what else do we need? And I guess just more random independent star system names. So keep those in your back pocket. Oh, along with Pakistani names. So, start thinking about those, because I'll be requiring a bunch of suggestions later on. Before any of that, though, I have been sick a lot over the past year, and it sucks, and it's thrown off a lot of my schedules, and it's made Templin difficult, and it's made working on this project extremely difficult. So thanks for sticking around and seeing me through that, because God, what a nightmare. Still not 100% through it, but I think progress is being made. But anyhow, as a thank you, and to maybe just prove that work continues behind the scenes, I want to give you a quick preview of some of the stuff that's going on, because even though I've been incapacitated, our artists and our insignia designers and everyone else, they're still rolling. So yeah, it's only me that is the weakest link. So one of the main questions we get from new people to the project is, what happened to Earth? What's going on Earth? And as we've said, Earth kind of a nuclear ruin at the moment, and it was destroyed in an event known in the setting as the Second Synfaxi War. Now, I have an exclusive image from that conflict that I'm gonna reveal for like 3 seconds. So have your print screen ready, and if you want a I don't know, a deeper look, come back once the stream is posted and you can pause it here or something. I don't know, I'm not gonna help you. You gotta work for this stuff. All right, hopefully this works. Second Synfaxi War, let's go. Hey, hope you liked it. That's all you're getting for now. Come back to the stream afterwards, and thanks for your support, guys. Okay, but that's not all we need to reveal in this stream, because working on the Elysian fields, we're starting to kind of run up against the Acadian Expanse, which right now is a black box. So I feel like we need to reveal a small section of the map over here, just so we're not, like, you know, we can get these pathways kind of looking natural. So, Acadian Expanse, gonna be revealed here, and prepare to be disappointed, but in a good way. I'll explain that in a second, but hold on, let's just go to the work screen here. Okay, so the Acadian Expanse. There it is. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, obviously it's a beautiful rendition of interstellar phenomena in the style of Tim Burton. The man himself has been doing all this stuff. But nothing too extraordinary going on here. And that's kind of sort of by design. Because the plan is, early next month, we're going to see if we can't have our man Tim working on the map while we're working on the map. And the idea is, as we're mapping out the Acadian Expanse, he'll be adding smaller details throughout to make it cooler, taking suggestions from chat, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully, over the course of a stream, we'll be able to kind of transform this area. Not that it doesn't look great already. I really love, man, all these details, man. I just can't get enough of them. But still got to work out the scheduling and make sure that we are technically able to do that, because who knows? But that's the plan anyways. Okay, so what did I say I was going to do first? First things first. Oh yeah, and I guess I should also mention, love getting questions about world building and the setting, but mostly going to be focused on the map, so I'll get to questions at, I don't know, whenever there's time, and prioritize super chats. That's just generally how things work. All right, what am I doing? Yes, the major strings. I want to map those out. And I have no idea the best way to do this, so I kind of just want to make a temporary marking just for me. What's a good color? Blue. Like a cool blue. Something like that. Opacity, okay, something. Is this gonna work? Nope. Come on, make it blue for me, Illustrator, you son of a bitch. There we go. Wait, is that helpful at all? No, that's not. What about yellow? All right, good enough. So, major strings. So I feel like the big one is definitely this one here. So when they were first mapping out the string network, they went to Alpha Centauri, probably skipped Tau Ceti, Lalande, Delta, Sigma, down here. And the question is, where was the big one? Probably here. So that's like the first major string they found. The second major string was probably like, no, would have been this one. And again, this is just for my reference. It's not, the map is not going to look like this if that wasn't clear. Okay. And then the Soviet string was this one. They broke through here. And that one picks up like here. Let's make this one is probably one of the stronger ones as well. Leading to New California. And yeah, let's make this one probably one of the stronger ones. And if those two had connected, things would be different, but they don't. So that explains the golden horn. Okay, that makes sense to me. I guess another strong string is this one. And this is where it gets important. This is kind of why I want to map this out, because when we're working with, like, trying to figure out geopolitics over a region, it seems to me that you kind of want to know, like, which of these points or which of these lines is the most critical, and where are these civilizations kind of going to develop off of from. So, I don't know. That's just kind of knowing the major routes is going to help, I think, in the long run. So, the Italian, I don't know, it's probably one here. And the question is that the only long one? Okay, we gotta do that, something like that. Yeah, this doesn't look terrible. And India and Brazil kinda got screwed on strings, I think. Yes, 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 yes. The only question is, like, is there a second, like, is this one a thing? Should it be like that, where there's, like, two ways through the Elysian fields? Yes. I think that's the way it should be. Okay. So let's hide that for now. That's good enough. So these are our major points. Okay. I'll be thinking about that later on, but for now, let's just start putting on a bunch more planets, or star systems, rather. Yeah, and I'm gonna be putting down quite a shitload, I think. Because we need a lot over here, a lot over there. Okay, this is actually gonna be a pretty big expansion, but don't want to overdo it. There's always the chance of making this too crowded and losing the appeal. But for now, let's just go for it. And I don't know, I'll do a cluster of star systems, take questions from chat, and then get back to it. I think that's a good way to do this. I like this this thing right here. In fact, let's put Dionysus in there. Yeah. So I'm kind of imagining, I want there to be a, at least like a middle power or regional power, maybe even two in here. And we've been waffling on who they're going to be. Still not entirely sure. I think they're going to be post-solar, non-legacy nations, but for now, let's just figure out where the star systems are, and then we'll figure out what nation they're a part of later on. Like that right there seems like a cool zone. I don't know why, but I like this arrangement. And then they need a way to get into the new Canaan corridor. And speaking of new Canaan, I thought we named the system that, and I mean, this is a star system that was from the earliest incarnation of this project back in 2007, 2008. And I thought it was just like a reference to the fact there's a bunch of places called New Canaan. But is there a New Canaan in Fallout? Because that came up during in a YouTube comment recently. And someone who used to work on this project was a huge Halo or Fallout fan. Did I say Halo before? I meant Fallout. My mind is soup, sorry. I don't think I said Halo. Did I say Halo? I've had both those on the mind for so long. The point is New Canaan a Fallout reference? That's what I'm trying to ask. And is it unique to the setting, or is it something that exists in real-life California? something like this. Chat is saying it's definitely in Fallout. The word is not in yet on whether it's a real place in California. There's a temptation to add like a bunch of star systems everywhere, but I want to keep this zone kind of sparse. Like, this is not a major part of the Orion Arm. But that feels too crazy. That is a long-ass string. All right, we're getting there. Just gotta mess with the positioning a bunch. Don't know why. Purely aesthetics, I'd imagine. I don't even know if I'm really doing anything. And like one more connection kind of system that maybe this is like the pivotal one. Oops. Ah, damn it. Am I doing that thing again where I'm adding a bunch of planets out of the legend? I totally am. But this time I'm ready and I know how to fix it, I think. Aha! Alright, good job, Mark. You are finally learning Illustrator. And maybe like in a reverse of the new Canaan corridor, or the deeps. What if it was like a shitty connection in the center? Or I guess that's kind of more like New Canaan, but you know what I mean? Like, something like this. Okay, I will figure out Illustrator eventually, just not today. There we go. Is that something? Is that an interesting hook for the region? Yes, but I think it needs more. Hey, thanks for the super chat there. I will get to it as soon as I figure out this current thing. But very much appreciated. Thanks for keeping the lights on and the communists out. That looks like too much of a zigzag, but we're getting there. How about I make it even more zigzaggy? Will that fix it? I think that might be something. Except I don't love the, Why is it doing this? Can someone explain Illustrator to me? Like, why is it no matter what I select, this stays... Okay, never mind, I just fixed it. But still, it shouldn't do that to begin with. Yeah, so the way I kind of see this whole region is there's like a power block up here of some kind, one state or multiple states. There's another power block down here of some kind, one state, multiple states, and they're connected by this weaker string. But I don't want it to be as crazy as the new Canaan corridor. It's just kind of like a smaller kind of thing. It's just getting it to look nice is the real trick, it seems to me. And like the weaker part of the string should not be that extreme, I don't think. It's just like a small kind of borderlands. All right, good enough for now. I think that's interesting. And then a couple more systems down here just to make things kind of look equal in terms of the number of systems per side. Yeah, something like this. More and more, I'm loving the decision to do this in Illustrator. It is such a nice way to edit a map like this. I'm beginning to take back like some of the shit I said about it, not all of it. Okay. Now the question is, I want there to be a different way to get into the, or different ways to get into the Well of Embers. So there's an entrance, and we need an entrance down here. I guess the question is, how complex is it over here? Flying Fortress saying, nice joke, Mark. What joke did I make? We got this, this kind of cloud here. This to me, like, screams, like pirate colonies, you know? You know, like in Mass Effect Omega? What do they call it? Terminus space or something? Like, this to me feels like Pirate Zone. Like a new canon version of the Golden Horn. Yeah. I think, one way to get into the Well of Embers is through, like, this goddamn pirate nightmare zone. Alright, we need a, cool name for this. Should be from, the Asian corner of the world, Southeast Asia, Japanese, China, like all that whole area. Maybe some Oceania. Cool pirate name for this area. Put your suggestions somewhere in that Star System's master list. Hopefully someone can create a section for that. I hope I'm not going too hog wild on the number of star systems that are being added here, but I'm really eager to just like get this whole section planned out so we can stop improvising and try to get into the nitty-gritty of it. But this, to me, is looking mostly decent. And I think this is another one of those areas where there's a mix of decent strings and crap strings. They have a more official name, but not right now. Almost there, almost there. Hey, thanks for the super chat there, Sika, I want to say. I will get to it as soon as we take our first question break, which should be soon because I think we've almost completed this whole area. So, a couple minutes, and then I'll get to questions. Appreciate your patience. Oops, what am I doing? Come on, don't do this to me. Something like so. What is the natural predator of the snail? And can I accidentally make that in line form? Is that something? I feel like this looks cool. Yeah, alright, I don't hate that. Someone's saying salt, birds, a ring of salt, probably a bird, a bigger snail. You know what the only predator of a snail is, right? They call it the bigger snail. Lives in the bottom of the swamp. That's my Australian accent, and it's perfect, and I won't hear any evidence to the contrary. Are snails in Australia? Probably, right? I mean... they got everything else there. Oops, what am I doing? Alright, that's probably fine. Okay, the only question is, like, am I breaking anything with this new arrangement? Like, is the new Canaan corridor suddenly way less vital because you can now, like, go through here? No, I don't think so. In fact, we need more, like, fucked up strings in this area, because this is too good a route. I am just not sure with... whoops. Like, I feel like these things don't connect great. And the path through is even worse than the new Canyon corridor. Same with, like, up here. So I think what this is, like, if you're a space trucker and you're hauling, I don't know, whatever it is people haul in space from point A to point B, I feel like this zone right here would be like the shittiest run to have. That looks a bit too straight, though. Come on, how does this look good? Be like that. And needs one more, else this is too crazy. That is a very long crap line. That I feel like I should be able to edit this. There we go. It's doing the thing again. How do I unselect this? I don't want to select that. Oh, I did it. Okay, I think it's shift. There we are. And we gotta swap out this so the names make more sense, but I think we just cracked the case of how to make this line look decent. Something like that. And most of these planets or most of these systems are places you would like never need to go to, but they're just kind of there, taking up space in the grand cosmic ballet that. I can't tell if this music is stressing me out or not. There's sort of like a ticking clock mentality to this that I don't love. Like it feels like I'm doing like a mini game in like a something like a hacking mini game. It's like, Mark, you better figure out where to place this star system so the thing's gonna get locked. Something like that. I'm sure I'll come back to this later, but for now I don't hate it. And that might be good enough. All right, moving on. What else do we got? Well, actually, how about first I take some questions, because I feel like I've been working on this for quite a while. Let's save this sucker. There we are. All right, questions. What do we got? We'll do the super chats first. Starting with No Stripe. Will we see some cultures that get weird appear, like people who build underground mining cities like fantasy dwarves? Will a counterculture similar to the hippies come into existence in this timeline? Yeah, I feel like some sort of counterculture is inevitable. To what extent it represents the hippies, I have no idea. But I feel like if you're in the middle of a Cold War with militarization going out the wazoo, peace and love is going to be a appealing concept to a fair amount of people. So yeah, I'm sure there's some version of hippies. As for like crazy weird cultures, probably nothing too crazy by the standards of sci-fi. Like nothing like the Votan from 40K, or I don't know, like what else do you get? Like weird mutated people. So probably nothing that crazy. I think the wildest you would get are like all the weird kind of communes and new societies and cults and whatnot that take root in the far frontier. They're trying some weird stuff, but I don't think anyone would choose to live underground unless they're forced to. So I don't know, that's my ramblings on the subject. Hopefully there was a decent enough answer there. And Sika, I hope that's pronouncing that name somewhat right, saying, if the evacuation was urgent and rushed, and presumably nobody started out militarized, and there hasn't been much open war yet, why are the borders so defined by choke points rather than contested clusters? I mean, they are, I would say, defined by, or contested clusters, right? Like, in some cases, there's a hard border between, let's say, I don't know, well, Pakistan and India have, like, these choke points here, but then there's also, you know, contested clusters here. So we're trying to do a mix, so maybe it's just we haven't done enough clusters yet. But, like, places like Juno Reach, the Apollo subcluster, the Encruza Hilda subcluster, those are all meant to be contested. Same with like this whole area. And then when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, in the context of the Cold War, this entire zone is just one contested cluster. The superpowers aren't really even in here, with the possible exception of Italy, if you want to count them as part of the Axis. So that's kind of what's going on. I hope that answers that. All right, now for the non-pan questions. What do we got? What are the relations between the superpowers? Are there World War II style understandings, or do they hate each other equally? So I think this is like an interesting question, and one of the most interesting parts of this setting, I hope, is that World War III, or whatever it's going to be called, the first interstellar war, it's inevitable, but who knows what the sides are going to look like. So, you know, neither of the superpowers are on friendly terms, but that doesn't mean that agreements can't be reached when it's in their own mutual interest. So, you know, the Germans will work with the Americans if it means fucking over the Soviets, and the Soviets will work with the Axis if it means, you know, messing with the with Odo. But of course, maybe not openly. Maybe they can't get away with shaking hands. But the idea is that all these superpowers have cold-ish relations with each other. There's no firm alliances between any of them. So I don't know. It's meant to be fluid and complex and evolving. I hope that's a good answer. What's Odo? That stands for the Orion Treaty Organization. It's our version of NATO, and it's right over here. It consists of France, which is going to be added around here, the Pacific States, which are going to be added around here, the United States, Australasia, and the United Kingdom. So that's what we're working on next after we finish the local cluster section here. What else do we got? Is there artificial gravity in DOV? Yes. I don't want to have to deal with like the spinning cylinders or the, you know, all that other hard sci-fi stuff. I love it when it's done well. Like, I think The Expanse is a pretty good mix between real life and more like fun sci-fi stuff. But I don't know. The science side of science fiction was never like that interesting to me, right? Like, I don't really care how any of the stuff in Star Trek works or why the antimatter does whatever. So in this case, I feel like the story triumphs over tech. So yeah, there's artificial gravity, and it works off magic. What do we got? Have you decided on a new name for the Deeps? Yes, I have, and thank you very much for reminding me. I meant to cover that at the start, but I guess I got sidetracked by everything else that was being revealed. So someone in the document, let me bring it up here. What do they say? Yeah, so if you're curious, here's the document. You can access it at any time with this link. But one suggestion I really liked was the Calypso Abyss. Calypso being either a figure from mythology or a Pirates of the Caribbean character. I think they're from Pirates of the Caribbean, but they were like creepy and knew a lot of secrets and whatnot, so it feels like that is a good name for this area here. So, sorry, Dakawanga, you will be added to some other place in the Orion Arm, but I think this has to be I'm gonna type this elsewhere and make sure the spell check's gonna get me. Calypso. Calypso was also the bad guy from Twisted Metal, so that's another reason why we should be calling it this. Though the question is it Calypso Deeps still, or is it something else? I did do a bit of research, and it turns out that Calypso Deep is the name of the deepest place in the Mediterranean, which seems so appropriate for this whole region. Plus, like, Calypso is like the keeper of secrets or something, so I think that's like a 40k reference. So is it the Calypso Deep or the Calypso Deeps? I think it's the Deeps. I always like going plural because it makes things sound bigger and more interesting. So yeah, Calypso Deeps until we decide we don't like this, but I think that's gonna stick. That feels so thematically appropriate, and like it fits with all the references, right? Like we got the Odyssey and Cyclops and Siren and all this shit, so this feels like nailed it. All right. Magnus Elander asking, what is India's power level? Is it near that of the superpowers? Well, I'm trying not to like have nations in the setting like have like distinct like power levels. It's all kind of nebulous. Technically, India is a great power, but the understanding is of all the great powers, India is probably the one that's closest to being a superpower. But exactly how far away they are from that, you know, who knows? It'll depend on who you ask. But yeah, they're pretty close. And India is the unofficial leader of the non-aligned movement, which gives them a lot of political power across the galaxy, or across the Orion Arm at least. Oh yeah, Aqualtium Questio, whose name I can never pronounce, saying lots of realpolitik between the superpowers. Yes, 100%, absolutely. Did the Synfaxi wipe out any cultures / countries? Countries, yes. Cultures, no. And have you chosen any French planets' names? Just one. The capital is called, I'm gonna butcher this, Ile-de-France, the island of France, the Isle of France, Ile-de-France, I don't know. It's that province. I think the idea is that French star systems are going to be named after French provinces. I like that, but we'll see. We'll come back to it. Let's see. Any other good questions? Is Quebec going to be its own country? Yes. The Champlain Group has an office based out of Quebec. What about new names for the Elysian fields? Well, we'll be getting to that in just a second, or maybe just a minute. Are there any corporate holdings, facilities like space stations with degrees of autonomy in free market areas like Independence Space and Odo? Kind of, yes. Sovereignty is a bit of a tricky subject, but, you know, a bunch of corporations operate, you know, space stations in Sigma Draconis. That's kind of a neutral territory. And there's, you know, a bunch of megacorp-owned, like, mining platforms all throughout the Well of Embers. But they have to abide by certain laws to do business with certain countries, so they can't get away with, you know, genetically engineering super scorpions or whatever evil corporations do. Except, in the far frontier, the rules are different, so that's where corporations can get away with a lot more, because the superpowers aren't breathing down their necks. Are there any legacy nations that are notably different aligned to the original timeline, such as a Sphere Romania or something? Yeah, but that's something I haven't put a lot of thought into, because you don't want it to be like an exact recreation of the political environment on Earth in the 40s, right? Like, you want some variation. What form that will take, not sure yet. I know that we were talking about having one of the major African blocks part of Odo, like the East African Federation. I don't know if that's still an idea we're thinking about. I mean, it's not off the table for sure. So, I don't know. Yes, but I got to think about it more. Okay, who exactly controls Sol? Technically, the superpowers plus Alpha Centauri. In practical terms, mostly Alpha Centauri. They're the ones kind of taking care of Sol and making sure that nobody breaks the quarantine. Or no, I guess technically the League of Nations controls Sol, but, you know, that's just all, that's on paper. Sorry, a lot of comments here. I gotta get back to working though. What do we got? What is Scandinavia like in the Orion Arm, or as they were on Earth, neutral or OTO aligned? They're kind of caught in the crossfire. Scandinavian countries, I think, are going to end up somewhere around here. Neutral, but caught between Odo and Germany. And one more. Cat Syrup asking, why did you choose to combine Romania and Bulgaria? Why not Hungary and Romania? It would make more sense historically, or why not just Romania? So that is referring to, if you go to the Astropolitics page on the wiki, you can see a list of all the countries. And the real answer is, I don't know, I wanted to put something more crazy into the setting, something a bit more outlandish, just to show that things can dramatically change over 200 years. Because if everything was too close to how it is now, I feel like it would feel too static. So something happened. Romania and Bulgaria joined up, even though that's not realistic or makes sense or is historically, like, it's just a weird thing that happened, and every now and then those do happen. So that's just meant to reflect that. And also we had a really good design for a flag, and it was proposed in the 50s, I think, when Romania and Bulgaria were both part of the Warsaw Pact. I might be getting this wrong, but I think there was a proposal to unite them. Obviously it didn't go through, but in this timeline there was some other arrangement and it didn't go through. So that's the idea. All right, let's get back to it. Thanks for the questions there, folks. Okay, so I want to add, like, I really like this whole area here, and I like it so much that I don't want to ruin it by adding a bunch of stars, but there needs to be something over here. There needs to be some reason to go here. So first, let's kind of put something like this. This whole area is so goddamn cool. Holy shit. Tim keeps adding these just small details throughout the whole map, and it's only when you really start to zoom in that I start to notice all of them. In fact, was that always there? I guess it was. Okay. All right, I get it. What did I do? So I gotta do this. All right, there we go. Yeah. I gotta say, I am kind of worried. We're already an hour into the stream, and I am nowhere near to placing the last of these star systems, so will we actually get to the Elysian fields today? I have no clue, but let's start speeding things up. So I might just shut up and really start to plow through this, if you'll excuse me. Okay, the question is, how do I get rid of the legend? Okay, like, is this whole area here, like, gonna be empty, or is there something else? there definitely needs to be a way to get into both East Vega and West Vega, not using the main routes, because that's how all the weapons are getting smuggled in, etc., etc. And plus, like, this whole area is very beautiful. Tim did an amazing job. So I think there's a whole lot more going on in the Vale of Lyra. I wonder how many star systems we're up to. I think I said originally that the entire map was supposed to have like 1,000, and like who knows how I came up with that number. It just seems like a good number. And now, like, I think we're gonna go well beyond that. Like, I don't know how many are on the map right now, but this looks like, I don't know, are we at like 100, 200? Does the thing say? Does our document have that? Cannon stars. So we started number 5. Oh my god, we are up to... Are we at over 250 stars? Is that right? Oh my god, okay, there's gonna be a lot of stars on this map. This is probably one of the most dense areas in the entire Orion Arm, like star system wise, but like not the only one. Like there's another like pretty dense area over here. And then you have like the entire Sea of Clouds, not to mention the Soviet Union, the German Reich, Japan. So like, yeah, gonna be a lot of people in this galaxy, in this Orion Arm, which I think is good. I want like a lot of territory. Like I want people to, like, this is a big place, you know? And now I'm second guessing myself, and this feels a bit too crowded for me, so I might come back to this later. I always like just covering up all the all the stuff Tim does. But it makes for a handy, like, reference point, you know? Something like that. Like, I feel like this is a pretty empty area, generally. But I kind of like this area, so let's put some shit in there. Yeah. All right, 5 more minutes of adding more systems, and then I'm going to switch over to geopolitics and whatnot. So that is my plan. Because it turns out this map's a lot bigger than I realized. But let's mess with the strings, since I always like doing that. Yeah, this is working for me. I'm liking this. Is this like a weird cluster? Is that what we got going on here, maybe? Yes, I'm liking the looks of this. Perfect. I think that is a rare example of me getting something I'm happy with very early on. Cool, good enough. And then, yeah, I think this is going to be mostly empty over here, unless Tim adds something really cool, in which case we'll need to add some more. But for now, I think just a few scattered systems will do it. Just the backwater of the local cluster, what can you do? I'm got second thoughts on this whole area. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, is this something? I'll see how I feel about that in another few minutes. But this is looking good. We'll give Pakistan an easy way out. Same with India. Yeah, I don't think that's ruined anything. I think that's still coming together pretty well. I especially like this cluster over here. I feel like something special is over here. Not sure what yet, though. All right, but we're coming up on the hour mark, so let's switch over to the Elysian fields. And, I don't know, I'll describe kind of my problem and what I'm thinking, and then solicit suggestions from chat, I guess. So, the Elysian fields is going to be the first kind of major battleground, or, I don't know, contested region dividing two superpowers, and for that reason, it needs to be pretty cool looking and interesting and have some like already existing rivalries beyond those of just the superpowers. So the original thinking was Italy has its own alliance called I think it's just called the Pact of Rome right now. And the idea was there would be like a lot of smaller fascist aligned states kind of in this northern section, kind of being propped up by Italy as like a kind of a prestige thing. I think each of these nations are probably not doing so hot, but yeah, mostly being propped up by Italy. Then in the south is where their influence starts to kind of wane. Like maybe like this colony is feeling closer to Argentina or the Union of South American States or whatever it is. And then hopefully like we'd even have some more colonies like all throughout this area, turning the Elysian fields into this giant mess. The question is how to do that while keeping things coherent. So the reason I wanted to mark down these lanes is to kind of like figure out, I don't know, like this is probably going to determine economic strength and whatever. It's going to determine a lot. Like if you are on these main lines, your nation is in a good spot. Question is, why would a string like? I think they're not on the main route. Yeah, so all the interstellar traffic is going through here. These places are like, yeah, okay, I think I got this kind of sorted. So Let's start messing around a bit with the placement first. And these are all temporary icons, by the way, in case that needs to be said. So we got some Italian colonies over here. I want to add, like, just a few more on the edge here. And I am going to forget to rename these, so... I'm kind of imagining this area like the Mediterranean. And as someone who knows nothing about the Mediterranean, it always feels like it's full of these small European countries that no one's ever heard of. Like Monaco, what the hell is that? Joaquin Deanne Tina saying, so, tax haven lane. Yes, if you're a wealthy fascist in the future, this is where you're storing all your money. Although, if you're like a... I don't know, if you're a bigwig in the fascist party, you probably don't need a place to hide your money. You can just get away with it easily enough. Yes, that's coming together. I don't feel like these two should be connected. I don't know why, but it feels wrong. But let's make these two connected. And then should this exist? Does it look better? I mean, that does ruin my cosmic string line. Could the major line be going like this way? Yeah, okay. I don't hate that. Oh, Tim Barton in chat. Someone tell Mark with the super chat that he's missing out on extra details. Am I? I was gonna check my phone before we exited the stream today, so that's if there's an update coming my way, let me know. But I don't actually see anything, so if you did send me something, send it again there, Tim, because I'm not sure if your message made it through. Okay, but back to this. So We got part of the, maybe I need to like mark this out with colors. I think that's going to be helpful. Or is it going to be helpful? I have no idea. But if this is like the Italian side, and plus they got the Vatican in their corner, maybe like this is more neutral. And then we have like the American colonies like kind of on here. Oh, Tim Barton saying that I'm not using the latest version of the map. Oh my gosh, is that right? I thought oh my god, you're right. It's because I forgot to turn off that layer, I think. Yeah, sorry about that. I think I was showing somebody something and then completely forgot. Well, it's back now. And yeah, holy shit, there's actually I didn't even realize there was this much in this area. You'll have to excuse me while I stare at it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, if anyone has any questions for Tim Barton, the man himself, let him know in chat, because it's not my fault that this map looks so goddamn good, I'll tell you that much. All right, so the reason I don't know if I explained this properly, but the reason I wanted to mark down these major lanes is because these are the places where all the early colonies that weren't part of the superpowers just kind of got dropped off somewhere along these routes. So, you know, the Apollo cluster and Sylvanus and Dia, even Juno and Vesta, like they're just kind of off these main lanes. And that's where these early colonies popped up, because you weren't always lucky enough to get inhabitable planets on the route itself. Sometimes you had to go a little further out. So the idea is, as the Axis and Oto were planning out these strings, or however you want to, I don't know, recording the strings, mapping out the strings, they started using this as a dropping off point, like a dumping ground for all the people who weren't going to make it off Earth, either because they're refugees or had no countries or whatever else. So a bunch of multicultural colonies pop up in the Elysian field. It's kind of like the Axis version of the Acadian Expanse, because the OTO tried to do the exact same thing in here. To poor results. And I think there's a whole bunch of people who got screwed on Amalfi. I think Amalfi is going to be a, what do you call it, a, like, split planet. Oh my god, the legend is getting covered up by stuff. So what is the most dangerous star system in this area? I think it's going to be Amalfi, because it's just a collection of maybe failed states. Oops, what am I doing? What am I doing? I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah. Oh, nice. I like this song. Yeah, that's good. I'm liking this. All right. question is, like, what else can we do to make the fields more dynamic? Well, number one, I think shit is going down in the St. Christopher cluster. Maybe I should start, like, labeling these pro, OTO. Pro axis. And we'll make the St. Christopher cluster something of a rough neighborhood. I don't know, something like that, maybe? That seems a bit too symmetrical, but it is easy to read, so I kind of just might keep that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But let's make this cluster nice and tight. Okay, so to get back to my markings, this guy is new. Wait, why isn't? Okay, so most of the axis, neutral. And OTO, I guess their furthest foothold into the fields is probably around here. Saxophone coming in. It's the 1980s. I just got back to my penthouse apartment, top floor, jacuzzi on the deck. But my partner was shot by drug dealers on a yacht. That's what this music says to me. Okay, I like this system being called cross. So I don't want to mess with the cross imagery of the strings, but I feel like shit's going down around the Rubicon system. In fact, maybe the Rubicon subcluster is the OTO and Axis's version of Vega. Like maybe like shit really went down around the Rubicon. Probably not to the same extent as Vega, because you don't want it to be like just a carbon copy, but what if this whole area was a giant mess? Man, this music. Look, Kincaid, you're a good cop, but we both know you're getting older. Now, if you track down Baron von Snee, what do you think he's gonna do to you? You don't mess around, do you know that? Jenkins knew that. And now his daughter's gonna know that. You want to add one more grave to that cemetery, Kincaid? Is that what you want? You don't get it, Chief. Sorry, what were we doing? Something about space? All right, so here's what I'm kind of thinking. I feel like these nations here are what do we got? Pro-OTO. So crossing the Rubicon, it basically refers to the OTO sticking their nose into the Axis's business. I'm sure that both Germany and Italy consider the entire Elysian fields inside their sphere, you know? So, this planet here, very brave, as is these folks here. I do feel like we need some more neutral planets, though. In fact, could be wrong here, but Saint Christopher is the possibly patron saint of wanderers or journeyers or something. Is that a thing? Am I getting that confused? I think that's what we called this system, Saint Christopher, but I am not sure. Also, No Stripe, thanks for the super chat. We'll get to that in just a second. Yeah, I think St. Christopher is another kind of cluster where it's like this is a rough neighborhood. You got one OTO, one Axis, one independent. Yeah, that's looking good. And I don't feel like I've broken anything too completely. So yeah, I feel like major string was found here, somewhere towards the end of the evacuation, and a bunch of folks got dumped off in here. Maybe even Brazil was complicit in that as well, and probably Argentina. But I do like the cross in the Rubicon analogy that's going on here. And the question is, like, what is the closest fascist state to the United States? Like, do the Axis have any systems like in here, around here? I think no. I think the closest one's probably in the Acadian Expanse. All right. So, how to make this work? At least the music's kicking in, that's a good sign. Ignoring the colors, does this seem like too perfect? I don't think this is that bad, but who can say? Tell you what, moving planets around like this, and after an Illustrator, whatever program this is, gets the blood flowing. I find this immensely satisfying. I just broke it. There we go. Yeah, I think that's working. Kinda like this. Big cluster here. All pro Oto. In fact, like maybe some of these were originally like founded to be axis aligned and Oto pushed them out. Yeah, I think Oto like pushed the axis completely out, pushed them back to the Rubicon. And now it's like the red on Elysian fields. But Elysian fields next to the Acadian Expanse, which is how they managed to smuggle those Spanish tanks into Firebase Hector. Okay, yeah, this is all making sense to me. I think this is like not a disaster. That's good. Yeah, all right. Then let's start naming some more of these planets. What do we got? Although I don't know if I actually put out the call for these types of names specifically. Might not need to wait till after the stream or next stream. Let's go back over here. Planets near the Rubicon. What do we got? Dynami, Greek, meaning power. That could be good. A fortified city important during the Great Siege of Malta. Medina. Don't hate that. Yeah, all right. Let's try that one out. Although I need like a good like crossroads kind of name for the Rubicon, I think. So we got Maltese. The Mythic Hero of Sardinia. Yeah, that'll work. And if you're new to these streams, should be mentioned, all these names right now are temporary. I like to put in some names just to get rid of all the independent and rename me's, but we'll be going back to this and adding or making them more appropriate. New March or New Mark in Basque. I don't know enough of like what's the importance of New March? Is it just like we're marching somewhere new? Is that kind of the idea? And let's bring these up here. At least this way you can see what I'm looking at. Again, restored. I want to move away from Greek and Latin. We've got a lot of those already. Let's see what else we got. Oh, blockade or obstruction. That feels like... Oh, hey. I think the master of the map just really helped me out here. Was I looking at the wrong one? Or were you just offering a bunch of suggestions? Stream of Woe. Oh, Archeon. Yeah, we gotta get Archeon in here somewhere. In fact, this is a good place for it. What do you think? Archeon to Rubicon? I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Does it? As someone who knows nothing about either. Alright, is there a better way to do this? Yeah. Extreme Remedies. That seems like a cool name. I'm not sure why you would. Huh. Latin for the scar. These all seem like two cool names. We need more boring names for this part of the galaxy. What else do we got? Let's see. We'll do a quick sort through the. What's here? Andean, Arabic. I feel like we need some more North African names in this part of the galaxy. Seeing a lot of Greek, Hindi, Indonesian, Japanese, Korean, Malay, Mesopotamian, Mongolian. Yeah, naming stuff might have to come down to post. I'm never sure if it's better to do this on stream or off, because so much of this is just like, well, that name's no good, that name's no good. So, what do we do? Let's get it on the other monitor for now. Bulgarian, meaning entombed. The entombed system. Yeah, all right, I'll deal with that. Pagreba. The Republic of Pagreba. Pagreba. The Republic of Entombed. Is that like one of those weird things that would make sense? Like, I mean, it sounds awesome. I just don't know if people from Bulgaria are gonna make fun of me. An ancient city kingdom in Cyprus. Okay, that's a good one. In fact, let's add it to one of these. Kidamame, Kidda whatever. Wait, is that, did I just replace? Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense, I think. Urkulu, mountain in the Basque country straddling the border between France and Spain. Not entirely appropriate, but I think it's going to work nevertheless. Let's put it, is it one of these? Urkulu. The Republic of Urkulu. Yeah. What else do we got? Latin for meaning to illuminate. Possibly. Appia, after the Appian Way, major Roman highway in Italy. Oh shit, that's I like that. Okay, Appian Way. Where is the Appian Way? The Appian Way is probably this thing here. So, goodbye Trapani. Hello Appia. And Trapani is now over here. Hope did that ruin anything? Wait, Alexandrian Codex saying we already have Appia. All right, don't listen to me. Oh, it's right there. I literally. Ah, Mark, you're an idiot. Or you're really good at thinking the same thing over and over again. Ah, geez. Okay, what if, do I still want it to be called Appia? Now I'm completely overthinking this. How about this? And this is Sepulta. All right, nobody saw that. I'll deny it. Also, what is going on in this song? I'm not saying it's bad, it's just kind of weird. Okay, but this is still working for me. Dante. It's just like, I want to call something Dante, but are you trying too hard if you name something Dante? I feel like it's too cool a name. Yeah, Dante has to be like some completely worthless planet somewhere. You can't have like the Republic of Dante. Latin for fortune. Fortuna, maybe. Reno. Maybe not. Rebirth from the French Renaissance. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's get Renaissance somewhere down here. Or are there any other? Yeah, no, let's do one of these. And I kind of like the idea of an Italian fortress system. Fortezza. Protecting the border. And what else do we got? Verdi. Italian composer. Yeah, I got nothing against this, at least for now. Again, these are all potentially temporary names. So far, they're all feeling right. Now for the Rubicon. You know what? I also think I want to make the border of the Rubicon a bit more dramatic if possible. Okay, why is it doing that again? And then what if like, is that too much Axis presence, like that close to the Rubicon? Like maybe the Axis only have one of them? And Bloodborne Duck in chat asking, should the Rubicon region be renamed into something like the Rubicon Gap? I love where your head is at. I only want to keep it just the Rubicon because we already have... Okay, never mind, it's not on here. The Antares Gap is going to be separating Germany from the Soviet Union, so I kind of want to keep Gap for that area. Not that there can't be two gaps, but I feel like the Rubicon just works like by itself, you know? Like, no one says crossing the Rubicon Gap. All right, so here's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, in terms of geopolitics, let's say war breaks out between Odo and the Axis, right? Odo's strategy has got to be, what is it? How do I do this? There's a way to do this. There's a way to do this, right? How do I? Yeah, okay. So, like, Odo, their strategy has to be to, like, cross the Rubicon as quickly as goddamn possible, secure this whole place, and then, like, push in there, push in here. Right? And knock that one out along the way. Axis strategy has to be to, like, or how do I make this green? Axis strategy would be reinforcing the Rubicon as quickly as possible, because if you lose the Rubicon, then you're fighting over Croy, and then you're fighting over St. Christopher, and then you're fighting over this whole cluster, and then they're at the gates of Rome. So the Rubicon, very important. But at the same time, the Axis got like, I feel like this is a good dynamic. I don't feel like this is too artificial sounding or too boring. I think this is the right mix of stuff going on. I don't know, what do you think, folks in chat? Like, if the rest of the universe didn't exist and this was like the entire setting, would this be like an interesting enough dynamic? Because this already feels like a sci-fi setting in miniature, which is kind of what I'm going for. So it's like a mixture of good and bad guys versus mostly bad guys. I don't know. Brucilli says, I love that idea, but my idea or someone else's idea in chat? I don't know. And Chief Spartan saying, would it be hard to put an Antares Confederacy Easter egg? Well, I mean, I think there needs to be a bunch of references to the Greater Terran Union and the Antares Confederacy, not to mention the Holy Solar Empire. But yeah, I think this is cool. I just kind of like, I want like the wild card. Like, what is the wild card in this situation? Like right now it's a bit too like 1v1, you know, like Axis here. Oh yeah, maybe the wild card is, if Argentina joins the Axis, then they can reinforce the Rubicon faster. In which case, they would need to actually be able to get to the Rubicon. So, I mean, that's the temporary connection for now, but like, yeah, so we'll need to add like a cluster around here, I think, and here. Okay, one question is, should Odo have already crossed the Rubicon? Okay, they crossed it once, they got a member nation on this side, but should they have one right there too? Or should this be neutral? I don't know. Because I like the idea that if this planetary system ever joins Oto, that's like a huge problem for the Axis, so they're like trying to prevent that at all costs. So yeah, let's keep it neutral for now. Okay, what did I just do? I messed this all up. Okay, we need here to here to here. Naminto just nailed it. Rather than having one nation here, there is going to be a split nation right there. Yeah, there it is. That was a good idea. Thank you for that. Huh. Something like this. I'll keep it there for now. I have no idea. Okay, what else do we got? I need a name for this place. The longest river in Sicily is called Salsu. All right. Does Sicily have rivers? Of any note? I had no idea. No, that's too far in. Let's put that closer to Italy. Although, are we full up on everything? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, never mind. Looks like it's more independent star systems. Maybe some English names, because presumably the Americans were pushing north just a bit here. English, English, English. What do we got? You'd think half the page would be English. All right, here we go. Camelot, city in Arthurian myth. Camelot seems too cheesy to me. Citadel, Codex, Columbia, Concord. Headway. Headway, Headway. I like Headway. Outreach. Yes, Outreach is a good one. Although, shit, like, how far up do English words go is my question. There we are. So when it comes to naming conventions for star systems, I think, like, the English boundary is, like, here. I don't know how to... Okay, that should say English. And then we got, like, mostly Italian over there. So Outreach, I think, will be the furthest extent that you kind of see these English words into the this area. Okay. Maybe some more Central American names, possibly. Now that we kind of know what the score is, it's going to be easier to figure this stuff out. But for now, maybe I'll just add some more systems. And I think, did I catch up on the latest super chats? I don't think I did. What do we got? No Stripe. Oops, I forgot to do my stupid thing that I spent so much time working on. Hey, there we go. Can Space Ireland be the closest Otto ally to Italy? I don't want to say no, but I can't say yes quite yet, just because I don't know the score. We gotta build all of Otto first. But Ireland, yeah, Ireland probably is gonna be somewhere around here. Hard to say, or maybe it's around here. I don't know. Sorry, the answer is I can't say for certain. My apologies. All right, now let's get to the regular chat. Any burning questions before we end today's stream? Are you going to add Caribbean star systems? Yes, I think they're probably going to end up like around here or maybe in the Sea of Clouds somewhere. But yeah, I think in Dawn of Victory it's called the Antillean Confederation, or we stole that from Kaiserreich. I can't remember. Reunion, says Big Fairs, is listed as the largest colonial republic in the far frontier. How powerful is it? And by extension, how strong is the average colonial republic? Okay, yeah, so Reunion is somewhere around here. And I can't remember how many people Reunion has, but the idea is that, like, Reunion is maybe a small power or a middle power, notable because it's in the far frontier. If Reunion was transported to the middle of, I don't know, the local cluster, it's probably akin to not Juna or Vega. Maybe, no, probably not New Canaan. It's like a Colwood or a Heinlein, in the sense that, like, yes, they control an entire star system. Yes, they have more than 1 million people in their own minor star fleet, but their capabilities are not huge. So, a colonial republic, by definition, is not very strong because they're dependent on foreign support. Reunion is the exception. They've moved past that, but kept the name for reasons that we'll get into later on. Opa Sailor saying, you said that major powers have their own drives. Do they ever do false flags and plant the drives of an enemy power on the attacking ship? Oh yeah, like all this sort of stuff is Cold War 101, right? Like, you're always wanting to keep your enemy guessing and deny your own involvement. Like if the Americans can get the Germans and the Soviets to fight each other, that's like the dream scenario, right? So smaller versions of that between all the powers are happening at all times everywhere. Oops, I missed the first part of this. Where are the Chinese and Korean systems? Asked August, beeper extraordinaire. They are somewhere around here. So the New Canaan corridor is kind of where you start to see the influence of Asian nations. So we're gonna have like Vietnam and Thailand, maybe some non-legacy nations in here. But Japan is somewhere over here. China is around here. Korea, etc. And they're part of the sphere. So technically allies of Japan, maybe subjects depending on your view, but hard to say. Are there micro-states in the Orion Arm, asks Chief Spartan. Oh yeah, I mean, pretty much every colony in the far frontier would count as a micro-state, just like a few settler families and that kind of thing. Depends what you mean by micro-state, I guess, though, but there's all types. Are you going to rename the Elysian Fields with the newer region name suggestions? No. I love Elysian Fields. I think we're going to keep it. But we did rename Calypso Deep, so, you know, one out of two. And will Argentina / South American Union get bigger? There seems to be a lot of unexplored space to the left of Sol de Mayo. Yeah, I kind of want to come back and redo a bit of Brazil, because I feel like the way in which I'm placing star systems is like different now than it was when I was doing the Brazil section. So yeah, I think I want to add some more star systems in here and here, and keep this area mostly empty because I like the look of it, but also add more around here. So that's kind of the plan. But man, after, what are we at, 9 sessions? I am continually impressed by just how much this thing has grown. I've been looking at this thing on my my tablet, and it's very satisfying to be able to use a touchscreen to scroll across this thing. So yeah, if you want to do the same thing, it's right there at the attached link. Didn't get to Pakistan this stream. You hate to see it. I keep promising we'll get back to it, and then I never have time. But it's on the list, I swear to God. But I think the plan for next stream is we'll start the first half adding more star systems like we did this time to the perimeter here. Like, I want to add some more, maybe like around here. And wait, where's my boundary? Yeah, this whole area we gotta flush out. Not to mention the Vale of Lyra. But for the most part, I think this is almost done, this section at least. Which is exciting. Please be excited. Alright, but I'm gonna save this sucker. Any last burning... Oh, I forgot to get rid of that comment. My apologies, it's just been sitting there. Alright, any last questions? What do we got? Will there be African star systems? Yes. If the question is ever, will there be X star systems? The answer is always yes. Africa is going to be spread kind of across the entire Orion Arm, because they have a lot of multicultural societies. But in terms of nations that are mostly or entirely African, I think maybe one of them will be in here. I kind of like that idea, possibly around here. So yes, the short answer is yes. Wasn't expecting a stream today. Will the next stream be 2 weeks later? I'm gonna stick to the weekly streams for as long as my health can support it. So if I feel good next week, yes. But I don't know, the way things are going, it's become every 2 weeks just because of I'm coughing so much. But I'm feeling better these days, so I think I'm gonna try to get back to weekly. If we go to every 2 weeks, I'll make an announcement before we just start doing that. So sorry for the bit of a headache with the scheduling, but just the way she goes. Oh my god, speaking of which. Sorry about that. Where's the Nordic corner? Right around here. In fact, you can see a bit of it. And Opus Sailor asking, are most habitable worlds terraformed or are they naturally occurring? Sorry, I'm just gonna choke to death again, 1 second. There's both, but there's plenty of naturally occurring worlds in the Orion Arm that terraforming isn't that extensive. Like, you're not turning barren pieces of rock into paradises, you're taking a slightly shitty paradise and turning it into a paradise, that kind of thing. Alright, just a couple more here. Are there any break-off Soviet republics founded by political refugees from the Axis nations to the USSR? Yes, 100%. In fact, a major great power / regional power has its history as former Soviet republics. We have a Polish-Ukrainian state right around the Tannhäuser Gate. Oh my god, sorry, as soon as I said I was feeling good, my throat has completely left me, so I hope you can forgive me, but I'm gonna call it here, folks. Oops, one more question, I guess. Will there be CIA-type organizations? Yes, 100%. That's like Cold War to a T. All right, yeah. So we'll call it there. Make sure this is all saved, and bring back the old HUD. Alrighty, thank you all so much for joining me as we continue making the Dawn of Victory star map. Hope you enjoyed that quick preview of some concept art right at the top here. If you missed it, go back and, I don't know, scrub through the stream until you see some cool imagery pop up for like a second. Oh wait, did I answer the question about 2D map of space? No, I didn't, I'm sorry. Yeah, the intent is to keep this 2D. I don't want to go through the whole rigmarole of like adding little numbers to signify the Z-axis or whatever. I want this map to be mostly atmospheric and mood setting and vibe defining rather than like a navigation map. So, and to me, like, I don't know, to me, like, this looks 3D. Like, this feels like it's getting further into the Z-axis and then kind of coming out again. I don't know. And I like that mix, so that's the plan. All right, hopefully I answered all the questions. Thank you all so much, and yeah, catch you hopefully next week and maybe sooner than that. Thanks, everybody.